Very good afternoon to everybody who's in the Southeast Asia time zone. I know there are a handful of people also joining us from the UK. A very good morning to you too. And I'm reliably informed a very, very cold, chilly, brisk morning as well. There hasn't been too much to celebrate this year, let's be very, very honest. And it gives me great pleasure to be introducing an event from the Professional Women's Group that does represent a celebration of success. Some months ago, BritCham was invited to put in some nominees from among our membership and among our stakeholders. And our board and Sony and team were in no doubt about the selections that we made, and we're delighted that all three of them were actually recipients of the IWEC Women Entrepreneur Awards. If I look at the basic mission for IWEC, and I'm not going to steal any of Sony's thunder, but it goes on to say that the IWEC Foundation's reach encompasses women who are already in the global marketplace and want to further expand, as well as those who are ripe to enter international markets. My brief glance at many of the attendees of this particular event are that they may well be falling into that category of being ripe and ready to be encouraged, nurtured, mentored, to be able to enter and utilize international markets as well. Certainly no doubt whatsoever that the recipients of the awards, Prita Kemal Gani, founder and CEO of LSPR Communications and Business Institute, Shinta Kamdani, CEO of Sintesa Group, and very, very active lead within Kadin as well, both of whom are with us, and Ibu Inka Maris, who unfortunately can't be with us today. All of them do fall into that category of being ladies who are already in the global marketplace. And I'm sure for everybody on this particular webinar, an awful lot of insight and experience to share. It's been a pleasure to know both of them personally over a number of years here in my time in Indonesia. And I'm certainly grateful for the time that I've been able to spend with both and the information and intelligence that I've been able to glean from both. With that, I noticed that a significant percentage of our booked attendees today are not members of BritCham. This has been a trend actually during the course of our webinar series with the Professional Women's Group. Rest assured, my team will be trying their very, very best to convert your interest in this webinar into interest in membership of the Chamber going forward in 2021. With that, I'd just like to thank Sony and Poonam for their hard work during the course of this year in sustaining the Professional Women's Group, a group that really does like to meet, look in each other's eyes, shake hands and have a chat over a coffee most of the time. But of course that hasn't been possible. But the interest has in fact grown, not waned, during the course of the year. Well done, Poonam and Sony. Thank you for that. Once again, my thanks to our two distinguished guests for allowing BritCham to nominate them and for being recipients and joining today for this panel discussion as well, Ibu Prita, Ibu Shinta. With that, I'm not allowed to stay on because apparently there's something wrong with my gender. So I'll just quietly bow out. Thank you all. Enjoy your afternoon. Sony.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you very much, Chris, and thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. We are delighted to have our Professional Women's Group online again. And as Chris said, we really do miss having an event where we can all be together and see one another, as is our usual norm. But this year, we've had quite a few events online, and we're quite happy that quite a lot of people have been joining us from all over the world, as well as all over Indonesia. And for those of you who are not familiar with who the BritCham Professional Women Group is, I would like to share with you that we have been in existence for 10 years, and we are under the BritCham flag, And we are the only European Chamber of Commerce that has a women chapter under it. So thank you to BritCham and thank you to Chris for always being such a great support for our women's group. And again, for this IWEC Women Entrepreneur Awards, Poonam approached me and asked if we at BritCham could nominate a few of our members. And we actually nominated 8 women members. And out of the 8, 3 responded in time. The others had other responsibilities and other, I guess because of this COVID situation, they were not able to comply with the registration deadline, nomination deadline. So we are very, very blessed that all 3 nominations got approved and are have received the awards. The IWEC conference was actually on the 9th and 10th of November, which Poonam will tell us more about. And today we are really celebrating these 3 awardees, as well as celebrating women in business. Our motto is always been to connect and elevate women in business. And I see that IWEC's tagline is the same. It's about connecting women in businesses globally. So I think we're really grateful because through this IWEC chapter, we can actually grow global, as this is the call of the time now. Yeah. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our 2 panelists. Unfortunately, Ibu Inke can't be with us today, but we have Prita Kemal Gani, who is the founder and CEO of LSPR. And I think everybody knows Ibu Prita because she is such a wonderful PR. She started this London School of PR 28 years ago. Her keen passion, her enthusiasm, and her spirit is unmatchable. And I think whenever I see her, she's always such an inspiring light. And I'm really grateful that I often meet her at many of the events. And also the LSPR team is always attending our BritCham events. And Ibu Prita is also the president of ASEAN PR Network, which was established in June 2014. And she gained the title as one of Indonesia's PR expert and is currently running a weekly radio program at 105.8 Light FM, which is called PR Corner. And also Ibu Prita is the only person to hold the position as the only female chairperson of Perhumas from 2011 to 2014. So indeed, she is holding many collades and she has won many, many awards and been nominated by BritCham several times. And next, I would like to introduce Ibu Shinta Kamdani, who is the CEO of Sintesa Group. And as Chris mentioned, Shinta is always at the events, which is with Kadin. And so we are also always seeing her at other Eurocham, Kadin, as well as the chamber networking events. And Shinta is the owner and chief executive officer of the Sintesa Group. And she is responsible for the management and expansion of the group's business interests in Indonesia. As a businesswoman, Shinta also is involved in numerous businesses and social activities, including Vice Chairwoman of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kadin, Indonesia. And she's also with the Employers Association of Indonesia, APindo. She's the Executive Board of International Chamber of Commerce, President of Indonesia Business Council for Sustainable Development, as well as founder of Indonesia Business Coalition for Women Empowerment, and Angel Investment Network Indonesia, ANGIN. And she's also the member of APAC Business Advisory Council. We are really blessed today that Shinta is able to join us from her truly busy schedule, because as you can see from all her positions, she's always in demand and always her expertise is always looked up to, and she's always given us guidance as well as someone that we can go to when we would like to know what is the trend, especially in the economy. And next, I would like to introduce our moderator, Poonam Sagar, who is co-hosting this event today. And Poonam is in this situation representing us as the Indonesia Ambassador of International Women's Entrepreneurial Challenge, which is IWEC. So Poonam is also an IT entrepreneur as well as a consultant and mentor with special interests in digital media, online applications, and e-commerce. And Poonam is also one of the founding members of our professional women group. So I'm ever grateful to her and all the other founding members, which we started the group 10 years ago. And today I am chairwoman after having been part of this truly wonderful group. And I hope that those of you who are new and are not familiar with our group will be inspired to join our group and continue our monthly meetings so that we can keep uplifting and empowering one another in the steps of these great women leaders. So Poonam, I would like to hand it over to you, and please introduce yourself as well as IWEC and tell us about the awards and the ceremony that was held on the 9th and 10th. And then let's continue with the talk show. Thank you.
Thank you, Sony. It's such a pleasure to be here with the professional women at BritCham. And I'd like to, first of all, start by congratulating the awardees, Ibu Prita and Ibu Shinta. Means I feel so proud that when there are Indonesian awardees on the global platform, I think it's really, really wonderful. I have, as Sony mentioned, we started it all 10 years ago. Has it been 10 years? It seems so like yesterday. So, and it has been a privilege to meet so many wonderful women through this organization. So this is great. This is what also attracted me to the IWEC. The IWEC is the short form for International Women's Entrepreneurial Challenge Foundation. It is a foundation which is not for profit, and it helps women-owned businesses to grow and connect. This year, this was the 13th award celebration, and unlucky 13, we were online, virtual. We did not have an opportunity to meet. And because it is the founding members is the New York Chamber of Commerce, so they held the award and the virtual conference in the Eastern Standard Time for us, which was exactly 12 hours behind. So when they were doing at 11 a.m. in the morning, for us, it was 10 p.m. So this year, there were 41 remarkable women entrepreneurs from all corners of the globe that were awarded this wonderful prize. The conference themed Connecting Women Businesses Globally, Sustainability in the New Decade was held virtually for the first time due to COVID. The event sponsors included Caixia Bank from Spain, Microsoft, IBM, IESE, SDI International, and many others. The mission of IWEC is to connect and develop a global network of successful women business owners through working with international chambers of commerce, such as BritCham, and other women business organizations. It is headquartered in New York City. The IWEC Foundation's reach encompasses women who are already in the global marketplace and want to further expand, as well as those who are right to enter international markets. So there are over 384 past awardees, and this year we had an additional of 41 new awardees. So it is an amazingly close network. And as Ibu Prita, you are part of the WhatsApp group now. You would be getting a lot of emails on what's happening in the IWEC network. I have been part of the IWEC network since 2009. So I feel very connected to a lot of people. And when they come to Indonesia, they always make it a point to reach out to the women awardees in Indonesia. So it's very, very lovely networking. And, I am really, really honored to be amongst you and Ibu Shinta. So Sony, shall we ask some questions of how, because I feel very inspired when I see them. So can we ask some questions, and maybe it can start a little conversation. It doesn't need to be guided at specifically each of the awardees,
yes.
But we can just ask a standard question and either of you could answer the question.
Yes.
Would that work?
Yes.
So, the first thing about women entrepreneurs is what sparked that idea? What sparked that idea? What made you want to be an entrepreneur? So, Ibu Prita, Ibu Shinta, maybe you would like to share your thoughts. What excites you about entrepreneurship? What sparked your interest in being an entrepreneur?
Me first or Sinta?
Go ahead, Ibu Prita.
Okay. I wanted to be entrepreneur because I think in the family, same like Ibu Sinta, my mom is also an entrepreneur. She owned hotels, and my grandfather also in the agriculture business. So, and we are from West Sumatra and Orang Padang. So since I was very little, my mom already told me that I should have my own business instead of working. But to own a business, of course, you have to start as a professional first. Otherwise, you won't learn to become a good entrepreneur. But deep in my heart, I wanted to be a teacher because a teacher is someone that very respective, teachers in the classroom, and teachers know all the answers, and teacher always has the right, who's wrong, who's right. Sometimes teacher also have a favorite student or something like that. So I really wants to be a teacher. Then my mom told me, if you want to be a teacher, since you like everything so good, like to have eat good food, so you better think of other things to help you, growing. So then when I want to get married, I'm desperate. I think I'm a PR person and my husband is a journalist, and if we got married, we both very busy, so we don't have time in the house. So maybe I can start my own business to start a school. So I thought if we become an entrepreneur, so we can have plenty of time adjusting ourselves. But it is wrong when become an entrepreneur, starting a business, so you work night, day, morning, so it's 24 hours job.
Right.
I think that is excite me to become an entrepreneur.
Thank you, Ibu Prita, for sharing your story. Ibu Shinta, can I ask you the same question? What excited you about entrepreneurship? What sparked your interest?
Well, actually for me, I came from a family business background. Unfortunately, my parents don't have any boys, so only two girls. And we do have a family business existing. So my grandfather started a business in 1919, and then my father also continued on in 1959. So it's kind of, I've been part of this world of family business. I mean, I remember in my younger days, even, business is part of our family meals, the discussion of work. And, my father would take me to work, to factory and so forth. So I think it's been embedded in me, right? But I think what's interesting, of course, I've always been working. So my parents has always believed in experience. So every summer, every holiday, I would work for the family business as well as outside of the family business. Actually, I started my first job when I was 13,
Wow.
selling books. So I thought sales job was kind of an interesting beginning as a young kid trying to convince other people to buy something from you, right? So that was kind of my first job experience. So I think I wanted to just share the turning point in my life when after, of course, I went to I went to study, and then I came home and worked for the family business. And after 10 years of working in the family business and being a very, very good employee, I think I proved myself that, you know, it's not a matter of who I am. I'm the daughter of my father. I mean, they don't really, I think I need to prove myself even more, because my first experience was working after I graduated. I worked for this expat who doesn't care who you are, whether that whose daughter you are, they don't care. So I kind of going through the career ladder, but after 10 years of actually working finally in the family business, I then start developing my own ideas and thinking of how do I see, what's the vision of this group. So I actually with a lot of courage, I brought myself to my dad and said, Dad, you know, I've been a good employee for 10 years, but I think I've now reached the point of my life that I have new ideas for you, right? And I said, I want to become an entrepreneur, Dad. And if you feel that you know, this idea of how I feel should be developed into our group, you don't agree, it's fine. I can start my own, right? So I kind of give him that option, because I wanted to really drive myself as an entrepreneur to see my vision moving forward. And that's what I did. And I moved from being an employee. I said to myself, I want to be a partner. So I established myself to become the partner, and then we developed, of course, the business into a new direction. I mean, there we are consolidating some of our existing business and going into new ones. And you know, it excites me to have kind of your own dreams and your own vision. You know, bringing a new ideas as well to be developed. So I feel like my spirit of entrepreneurship lies me to bring my family business into a different height.
Right. You know, very interesting, Ibu Shinta. You started off by saying that unfortunately my father had only two daughters. I think he was very fortunate to have both of you. And and this is something that just proves to me, you know, that when you move forward and you work hard enough and you develop new ideas and the courage to follow your dreams, that is what happens. So Ibu Shinta, what do you think now when you mentor young women? How do you, you know, when you get that, the advice that you keep repeating and you give to them, when you find young women who are your mentees, what do you tell them?
So, you know, I believe in three things in my life, right? One is that we need to have a purpose. So I always say, follow your dream, whatever it is. Since I was young, I have a dream. I have very specific dreams, and I think I want to pursue that, right? Even Sony, even the Poonam, the where I want to sit, you know, in which floor of the building I want to sit, you know, that's kind of push me, you know, like kind of, I want to be more, I want to do more. I mean, the ambition, I guess, is there. And sometimes being too ambitious become, you know, a criticism for others. But I believe that you need to follow your dream. You need to follow, to have a purpose in your life. And the second thing is passion. I love Poonam, what I'm doing, whatever I do. Inside of my business, outside of my business, now I'm doing more work for the country, you know, doing work for others. But I love what I'm doing. We need to be passionate with what we are doing. You know, even if we felt we are being forced to, we have to be passionate. So I think passion is my second formula. And the third formula is perseverance. I think we need to work hard. And I always tell my mentees, you know, nothing comes for free. You need to work your ass off, you know, in order to become something. And you may fail many times. I fail so many times. I think I fail more than I succeed, right? But I think failure is part of success. So we need to fail. And I think working hard and giving your best, I think is very important. So I always tell my mentees to three things: follow your dream, you need to have a purpose, you need to follow your passion, and have your perseverance. So that's my three things that I always tell my mentees.
Yes, very, very useful. Yes, dreaming big and finding your purpose, persevering, falling forward. I think, as you say, falling forward so that you can learn from your mistakes and being passionate about what you do. I think those are really three key things. In your experience, Ibu Prita, what would you say to your mentees? What is the advice that you give to women entrepreneurs?
Okay, I think the first to become entrepreneur has to be accountable. If we are not accountable, I think people will not believe in us anymore. So accountables meaning that you keep your promise, you doing your job as expected, and uh, and you have to do your very best, you know. So no matter what happened, even though when you are sick or when you are in trouble, you have to be responsible. So being entrepreneur, you have to be accountable. And I think because I'm a PR person, I think accountable is not enough. In order to be successful, people must like you. So you have to become a likable person. A likable person, because at the end of the day, people like to buy from the people they like.
Correct.
So I think they don't think so much of how much is the product, and they don't think so much of the locations, the packaging, but they want to know who make the product. So I think to be a likable person is also important. And number three, the same like Sinta, nothing happened for doing nothing. So I think, we have to work hard. We have to have passion. We have to have dream. I mean, like Kamala Harris just, opened the mind of many young people, dare to dreams, you dreams with your eyes wide open. You not dreams when you sleep. So it's going to be nothing happen as well. So I think this is the three things. So accountable, being a likable person, and then also a hard work. Because if you will get nothing if you don't, work hard. Some people thinks it's nice to become the boss for, as traveling, and you can have your own time, and you can have a lot of assistant. But to achieve that kind of life, there is a process.
Yeah.
That is a hard work, and a lot of struggling, and persevering, and a lot of things.
Right, right. No, I think that's a very valid point about people want to do business with people they like. If you don't like that person, you wouldn't want to do business with them. So,
Yeah.
so that's, I think that's a very, very valid point, and all about walking the talk, being accountable, and doing what you say you will do. I think those are all really interesting and valid points. And we all intrinsically know it on some level, but it has a deeper, more valuable meaning when you say it. So thank you for that.
Poonam, we have two questions which are actually two people who have
Yeah.
mentioned asking about the challenges. And I think it's a good time for us to raise it now.
Sure.
We have Renita Safitri from Arup, Indonesia, and Susi Sugiyarta, who is self-employed. And they are asking that what are the challenges that Ibu Prita and Ibu Shinta that you both have faced as women entrepreneurs? And what is your advice for handling challenges? Can you please share with us, some
Okay.
of the biggest challenges you have had to face and how did you overcome them?
Hmm. Okay. When we start a business, I mean, it's just like when you raise a child. Um, when the baby just born, of course, you have to carry the baby all the time, and you have to feed the baby all the time, and you have to, to stay awake 24 hours. The same thing like business. When you first start the business, I think you have to really put everything's effort, your attentions, your hard work, your very best for the. So many young people now think it's so easy. They make a business today and they said that in the next year or next month the business just already reached a certain point that actually is already break even. It's not that easy because it takes sometimes to build a business. And then after that, when the child's already become a toddler and they start working, so going to school, mommy has time for himself. So I mean, meaning that we have more time for us. Then it's growing up and see boys and then start worrying because I think people like to do partner with us, so we don't know what kind of partners. And then after that, of course, this girl will get married, so we will have a partner. Then we will have a children. So then the company also will have another unit. So this is my philosophy in tellings about a business, just raising a child. And of course, there is a challenging. Sometimes the child also is not well, yeah, have a fever, or sometimes also naughty. Sometimes also it's not like what we expected. The same thing also in the business. So I think my business is just like my children's, and the people in my business are also my family. When they are not happy, I'm also not happy.
Okay, my turn.
Yes, Ibu Shinta.
I think for me, right, and I think maybe if you're a self-entrepreneur, there are different ways looking at it. But for me personally, I feel the first biggest challenge in my life would be to get out from the shadow of my father. When you have a successful businessman as a father, it's a big challenge, right? Because you need to prove yourself. You can be your own. So you kind of my soul searching to find my own identity within the business is very, very important, right? For people to really view me as who I am, as my own leader, right? And I think this is the first challenge that I have to face. Being part of this family, you call known family, already have a name, Oh, this is the daughter. Oh, this is that's like for me the hardest part, right? To get out of it. And I think the same way of even if you don't have coming from a family and on your own, you need to establish your own identity, who you are, do you want to be known. And I think this is the first thing. I was also transforming the family business into more professional organization, and that's another challenge, right? Because you used to a certain authoritarian leader in which everybody, all employees just follow of what the shareholder want. Okay, this is the boss say this, you follow. The boss say that, you follow, right? So if you want to transform into a professional organization, you have to change the whole system of working. You know, you are not the central figure, right? You kind of change your leadership style as well. You need to have a more democratic leader. I have now what we call an executive committee in decision making. So it's like setting up an actual team, not just what we call a puppet team, an actual team who actually does decision making and process. So I think this is very, very important on to identify what you want, right? And I think to me the biggest challenge was really transforming not just family business to professional, but also transforming the people mindset, that people are used to certain things. So my first fundamental was really the values, right? The corporate values. To me, that's more important than the business itself, because our people, our team need to understand what is really the values. So we have four E as our value. entrepreneurship is actually one. We want our people to think as entrepreneur. I know you think entrepreneur you have to set up your own business. No, entrepreneur, you can be also have the entrepreneurial mindset within the organization. And this is what I'm trying to do with the people, to start thinking of you can be the owner of the project you have. So being entrepreneur and also being empowered. You know, people are not just working 9 to 5 following orders. They have to be empowered. And also excellence, give your very best in whatever the services, product you want to do, you want to give the excellence. And the fourth one is empathy, actually. I said it's important that we care within and outside of organization. So empathy give us the spirit of giving back to others as well, our community and so forth. So that was kind of the challenge to really embed those values into each one of member of our team. So the people aspect is very, very important. And I feel like the challenge is how to really manage this, that they are putting this also within our DNA. So now we are actually measuring our values as well. So we're not just measuring performance based on financial, on the result. We are measuring based on how they deliver the values.
Those, I think what you just mentioned about having an entrepreneurial mindset, having empathy, and working with excellence, I think those are key. Each of us can have an entrepreneurial mindset. So Sony, what was the second question?
Yes, the other question that they asked is that, what does failure mean to you? I think Shinta already touched on that earlier, but they would like to know that, how do you bounce back from failure? If you could give a tip, you know, what does it mean and how do you bounce back? Or as we say, what fail forward, right?
Yeah, I think I always look at failures as a learning experience, right? What I learned from that failure. And I know I cannot make the same mistake again, but the failure gives me spirit to move forward, to say I have to get up and I have to be better, right? I cannot fail again. So actually, I learned a lot from my failures. It's like, the failures give me more knowledge to me to grow. So in order to grow, I really believe you need to fail. So look at a failure as something you need to go through. I mentor a lot of startups, right? Startups from maybe for 100 startup, if you have 10 that's successful, is already very, very good. And I said to a lot of my startup, maybe you can't win on the first game, right? You need to do it again and again, again. Maybe 10 startups you establish, and then you become, and then you can. So you have to continue having that spirit to get up. And if you can learn and look at this as a knowledge, it gives you a lot of hope that one day you can be better and you can succeed.
Thank you. Yeah. And Ibu Prita, would you like to add about how do we bounce back from failure?
Yes, I think in my case of failures, I always think that it's a trial. And failure is not only in the business, or not only in the job. Sometimes you also broken heart. Not because only a man, or if our employee or professional like to work with other people's, we already grooming, we already we already put so much effort in a person that suddenly she or he would like to work for other people or start their own business. Of course, sometimes it creates a broken heart to us. And for me, failures is also some things that make you feel pain. Yeah. So when there's something, pains come into your heart, into you, and then it's the time for you to pray, the time for you to have self introspection, and then some things that you can try to be better each day. So if you don't have trial, if you don't have exam, you don't know that you already in what grade, in what stage, in what class. So the more trial, the more failures is the highest that you will be jump or bump, and the stronger you become.
I think daring to fail is definitely requires courage. It requires courage to fail and to learn from it, and you dust it off and you walk forward. So I think failure is definitely a great teacher. There are some other great questions also, Sony, you would be seeing. There are some, and I really like this question from Diaz, where she's saying that she's asking this question to both our awardees, and she wants to know that often women decide with intuition, and sometimes it is, but it is not always the right thing to rely on, your intuition. So have you in your lives taken a decision based on intuition and lived to regret it? And has that been a learning for you? Has that changed the way you take or make decisions?
I think in intuitions that you have to practice, and many times my intuitions also sometimes wrong or sometimes not right, but many times also right. Yeah, but I think intuition, you have to be able to read what was not written and to hear what was not said, and to see beyond what you see. So I think that is intuition, that you have to practice, you have to go beyond that, and you have to have empathy, and a lot of things that you put into that. And sometimes I rely on my intuitions, but sometimes I ask my husband opinion or my team opinion for something when I in doubt, or I pray.
Right.
I think, Poonam, being an entrepreneur, you need to follow intuition sometimes. And I think this is very important. You need to be able to take risks. If you pursue based on facts and data only, sometimes you are being very much a person, an entrepreneur that are not willing to take any risks. And as you know, many of successful entrepreneurs that we know in the world globally, they all succeed because they're taking chances and they're taking risks, right? So I do believe that as an entrepreneur, especially, intuition does play a role. And of course, you gamble. I mean, you mitigate your risk as much as you can, but you have to be a risk taker in order to be a successful entrepreneur. I do believe that.
I think very beautifully said that intuition means also to take risks. And as Ibu Prita said, reading what's not written and listening to what's not being said and taking the leap of faith. So that is what intuition is. So means what I hear, what both of you are saying is that intuition is a pathfinder. It allows you to take decisions which cannot just be taken through data or analytics. So yeah, so Diaz, I hope that answers your question. And speaking of that, we have yet another question from Ika from Sinermas, who says that being an entrepreneur is so difficult for women working at offices. What are your tips to build our mind so we can start as entrepreneurs who really want to be an entrepreneur?
Sorry, Poonam, what is the question?
So Ika wants to know that she works at Sinermas, and she says that to step into being an entrepreneur for people in a job working at an office is very difficult. What would be your tips to let them get wings and fly and be an entrepreneur themselves?
Okay, first, when you want to start a business that's something that you like. And start a business that's something that you know. So don't start selling a pastry if you don't like to bake, or if you don't like, you don't have knowledge of uh, culinary or something like that. And also, I think when you want to start a business while you're still working, I had this kind of experience before. So I was working as a PR person, and I want to start a PR school, but I'm also scared if this business is not happening, I might lose the job because I'm already a director of this company. But it's not good to do moonlighting to my boss that I'm doing a business behind him and start working for him. So I told him that I wanted to start a business. I will give you time to look for my substitute, and please give me some time also uh, to prove it that actually I can run this business. So, and he helped me a lot. And I think he's my first mentor, is my own boss when I first working.
I think it's nice to have a boss like Ibu Prita's boss, allowing you to develop and want to be an entrepreneur. I think a lot of bosses, unfortunately, are not like that. They want to keep you forever as their professional. They don't want you to start engaging and start on your own and leave you, right? So I can understand fully the question that it's hard to start your own business and yet being a professional in a company. So the key for me, and this is not just about having to want to start your own business, but everything to do with the work-life balance, because it's all about time management. It's all about disciplining yourself, right? How can you manage being a great professional and yet you can start your own business, or you can take care of your family? I mean, taking care of family is also a job by itself, right? So this is, I think, the work-life balance has always been the key for women. And I have to say that actually, with now progressing in the condition right now, with, well, especially during pandemic, we can now work virtually, work from home, and more flexible working hours. I think this concept actually allowing more women to be able to explore and start up on their own business. So I think we are going that direction. I think flexible working hours will be more and more adopted by companies. I think companies are now being more open in allowing maybe more how you can really manage your life better, providing also facilities for professional women in the place of work. I wanted to share a little bit actually our program. I actually start this organization called the Indonesian Business Coalition on Women Empowerment, IBCW. And with this organization actually promoting gender equality in the workplace, right? Because a lot of time, a lot of leaders feel we are treating men and women the same in the workplace. But in actuality, there are a lot of unconscious bias leaders. And this is where I think we need to really drive when we talk about gender equality in the workplace. I think a lot of women actually are still being paid less. A lot of women doesn't have the same opportunities as men with on their recruitment, as well as promotion and so forth. And this is really, I think, an important task in which companies still needs to really put this as a priority, how to have this gender equality. And coming back to the question, I think with all these elements being in place now in the modern world and being more advanced, I think the opportunity to explore starting up your own business will be there. But like I said also before, you can be an entrepreneur within the organization. Actually, Poonam, every year when we do teamwork activities, we don't do sports. What we do is entrepreneurship challenge. Oh. So our employees are put in teams and they do pitching. So it's very, very exciting.
That sounds like fun. So Sony, would you like to do the last 10
Yes,
minutes?
unfortunately, time has gone by so fast.
It's so interesting to learn all these,
That's
to hear
right.
from them. It's like reading what is in lots of books to distilled into a small chapter.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for everyone's time. And I mean, I have so many questions, and Poonam also had such a long list of questions, which we barely touched. But basically, to end this, I would like Ibu Prita and Ibu Shinta, could you please share with us your biggest learning from this COVID situation? And how are you, because now we are in this new normal phase. So can you give one tip or one word or one advice to all the women budding entrepreneurs here as to what is what is one takeaway that they should take from this session today in order to keep believing and keep having faith and purpose in their lives and in the business that they choose to do. So please, can you share that one big takeaway that you have learned from this Corona situation?
Okay. Yeah, I think we should be creative and innovative, and this will make our life more interesting. If we don't create, if we don't innovate, we just stay the same, and the business stuck, and there's no development. So that's why, in order to be able, in order to be creative and innovative, we have to learn, we have to read, we have to watch a movie, we have to, to hear the music, a lot of things that we can enjoy, that we can find creativity over there. And also, I think as a woman, we also need to do sharing, because the more you share, the more that you also will get more knowledge or more power. And I think as a woman, please do not forget your own, um, what do you call, I mean, you as a woman, that's a woman, uh, you are a wife, a mother, a sisters, and that you also have to do your job for that. And I think woman is multitasking, and that is one thing uh, that we can say that as a plus point from a man. Hope Chris Brand is not here, right? So we can see this. Okay, so I think that's for that's my point. And speaking, I think it's just do sharing.
So
Thank you.
mine would be, I think this COVID is a wake-up call for me, for all of us. And I have to say, something that would really bear in my mind is not taking life for granted. We've been, Prita, and I'm sure, Prita, you feel the same way. We're all busy every day, busy with so many things. We reach, we want to, we work so hard, sometimes we forgot the little things, and we forgot how those little things matters, right? And I think this COVID suddenly make us realize why are we doing all this, right? And we have taken, we never would believe that COVID would happen. So I have to say that not taking life for granted is very, very important. While saying that, I have to say that two aspects that was a big thing during COVID is health and technology. Those are the two key things. So it makes us realize the importance of health, and taking care of our own health is very important. So mind, body, and soul, we always say it's just a statement, but in actuality it's true. You have to take care of your own health, right? And the health is not just about physical health, but also your mental health. So that's on the health side. And on the technology, this is the time all of us have to start learning how to use technology. I mean, you know, I said, I have my assistant, I have my people surrounded that can help me. Why do I have to learn myself, right? But this is it. Without technology, so guys, I think health and technology are also the two things that are important during COVID. I want to leave by just saying that to me, it's important for all us as women, and I'm happy that this network is being created, because this is the power of the woman network. It's so important, very important. We need this support, right? So I think connecting among women, we don't realize how much power we have and how much we can achieve by creating this power. So I would say congratulations and good luck to all the women out there. And let's continue connecting with each other. And we hope, you know, we all will bring and make impact for many more to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Shinta. And really, that is actually the gist of our group. You know, this group was created to uplift and empower one another, because we find that there is too much already of negativity online, on social media, and it's very rare and very difficult to find true friends and true encouragement. And I think that this BritCham group has always been a platform for us to encourage and motivate one another, to share ideas, and where we don't have something, we can actually connect and help each other. And I think this is what you both are, you know, you show in your persona, in the business that you do, in the way you run your businesses as true leaders. One lesson that I keep reminding myself is that no one can do anything alone. So I think this COVID is also a time where we have learned that, you know, we can, those of us who try to do anything alone, you cannot. On the digital platform, it is not possible to do anything alone. So we really need to change our mindset. We really need to take that jump, of that leap of faith and courage, in order to face the next year, especially 2021, where there will be lots of new ways of doing business. And I think, Shinta, I really am grateful for your you mentioned 3 P's: purpose, passion, and perseverance. And I would like to add one more, because that's something that I do with this group: play. Because
Yeah,
when we
play is
play,
important. Yes,
and
agree.
we as
Very
women, we
much
tend to
so.
forget to play.
Yes,
When we
yes.
play, we become creative and we have fun, because it's not always a competition, right? So thank you so much. And we have 2 women with us, right, Poonam? We have Irma and we have Monica, who are also IWEC awardees and part of the IWEC committee. So Asti, can we all be online on the screen so that we can have a group photo?
Yeah, sure.
And so that everyone can see. And I guess
Monica and Irma are also Indonesia women entrepreneurs who have been awarded the IWEC award. So very proud that the number of women entrepreneurs from Indonesia is increasing year on year.
very good. And are they able to say a few words? Can Monica or Irma say something? Would you like to?
Should I go ahead?
Yes, please, Monica.
Good evening, ladies. It's wonderful to be on this platform, meeting everybody who's so talented. First of all, a very, very good evening again from Bali. It's very, very hot. And I'm in between my son's birthday, so there's a bit of a noise here. So I apologize for that. He's celebrating his 9th birthday, so a very important role for all women, you know, as a parent, and also, you know, establishing your own identity as a woman. I think we all have reached a platform where we've been playing with these roles very successfully. Of course, there are roller coasters in between, but I look at myself here. Poonam's been pinging me and telling me, Monica, you must join this web seminar. And I said, absolutely, I will. So here I go in between my son's 9th birthday and amongst the platform with all of you amazing women. You all must connect with me when you come to Bali. There is so much, as you very rightly pointed out, Sony, that we all can do together. And it is very difficult to achieve all that we have achieved so far in our lives by just being by ourselves, without our friends, without our colleagues, and without the people who support and believe in us. It is not possible to climb the ladder. We need that support. And once again, congratulations to the awardees for 2020. My respect and my love to Poonam, who's always standing beside me, pushing me, prodding me, poking me, and always encouraging me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica, for that. Yes, and actually, I just remember this is supposed to be a celebration, so we should be clapping for our women awardees. Congratulations, Ibu Shinta and Ibu Prita again, and thank you so much for always being an inspiration. And on this note, we are going to end, and there are a couple of new events coming up, which Asti will put on the screen. And please, those of you who are not yet members, please join us. We are really, truly a dynamic group of women. And now we have also some collaboration with IWEC. So I'm sure we can do even more exciting events, right, Poonam? Yeah, and we would definitely like to start some networking events for women entrepreneurs. And I think this is something that we can explore. It is possible to network online, and we are the experts on it, right, Poonam? You know, we have our digital expert here, Poonam Sagar. So no one can match us when it comes to organizing online events. So please join us again next month for our Christmas party, and please keep inspiring, keep motivating, and just remember that we are the power, right? Women power. So don't forget that you have the power within you, and wherever you go, share your light, share your joy, and inspire everyone else. Thank you so much, and see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ibu Shinta, Ibu Prita, Monica, Sony,
Thank you.
for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.